All right, James, we had Clint Butler on. I love to, stir the pot. Love a bit of SEO drama. So I think I definitely sprinkled that in today. What do you think?
Yep. No, it's always good to chat to Clinton. His views on SEO, they're always interesting. I mean, I've kind of subscribed to his take on backlinks in terms of relevance and authority and stuff like that. But also, I love how he's always open and talking about, Google hates affiliates. Affiliate marketers are always being kind of pushed out, and it's refreshing to hear because, as we know, everyone's always talking about it's not Google, it's the people with the websites writing the content, blah 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 blah. But it seemed, well, at least he sees as a clear vendetta against the typical affiliate marketer, which is awesome that we run into. But when we dive into a lot of other stuff too, Schema, technical authorities, Parasite SEO, all of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have a different perspective, because I feel like we get stuck in, well, at least I do. I get stuck in an echo chamber of just affiliates. So we just tend to say the same things over and over again. Whereas like it's refreshing to hear from another SEO in another industry,
Yeah. No, exactly, man. For anyone listening as well, if you want to chat more, go down the description, jump into the advised community. That thing is growing like crazy. You also get a lifetime 10% discount with that link on there. So make sure you check that out. I mean, shit, what was just posted today? Some massive 40% off, some kind of like PBN links, that massive Google sheet of parasite placements you can buy dirt cheap. Oh my gosh, I went through that whole list to have a look to see what was being sold there. That was pretty nuts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. A lot of nuggets in there. And yeah, if you're not in there and you're in SEO, you guys are missing out. This is actually, it's pretty killer. As of late. In the beginning, it was kind of slow. I don't know. But now, you know how in the beginning, I was like, James, what do you think of advise? There's some slow days, but now there's no slow days. Pops off every day. So I'm happy about that. So everyone go sign up. Use the coupon code down below and you'll get a huge discount. And it's freaking, you get it every month. So sign up, guys. Chat there. Go listen to the pod. Like, subscribe. Hit the bell notification. All right, well, we'll see you guys next week. What's good, everyone? It's Jackie Chow.
And this is James DeLacy.
And you're listening to This Week in Digital Marketing. All right, what's going on, guys? We got the infamous Clint Butler on the pod today. Clint, I don't think we've spoken before, have we? I see you around Facebook groups, see you on Twitter, but I don't think we've really spoken directly.
No, I don't think so. Not that I can remember. Probably made
Clint
fun
just
of at some point.
He just loves calling people retards in Facebook groups and stuff based on the things they post. So that's why you see him around.
Yeah. I'm a seeker of drama. But yeah, why don't you give the audience a quick intro about yourself and we can take it from there.
So Clint Butler is my name. Former military, 22 years in the Army, retired right before I got out. Well, I say right before, but it was a couple of years before I got out. I knew I wanted a business of my own, and I knew it was going to be something around the digital marketing space. So started my own agency. Started learning SEO in the affiliate marketing space, did a lot of black hat stuff, learned in adult casinos, the hard niches, where no one else really works. Figured that stuff out. And then when I did retire, and I was finished a 2-year tour in Afghanistan as a contractor, came home and started my own agency. Since then, I've been doing the agency work. I do consulting, and then I also have a membership site and a SaaS. So kind of spread out a little bit.
Yeah, sick. We call that diversity on the pod. But what is your biggest revenue source right now? Is it the agency on retainers or?
Yeah, it's the biggest is the agency, and the biggest part of that is the consulting work. Which I like the best because you get to tell everyone what you should do, and then whether they do it or not is on them, so you don't get blamed for any of that. And they do all the work to you, so it's good.
Good. What kind of companies do you work with?
Mainly rehab, and then a couple small business websites, niche type websites, news kind of thing, small business trends. I don't know if you guys know them. They're one of my consulting clients, but mainly rehab.
Nice. rehab like local SEO? Like you do local SEO for them, or do you just consult? Like you just tell them what to do? Like you should do this, 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 and then they just go off and
Local
do it.
SEO. One of the clients, he's got a network of 700 websites. Those are different. That's one type of project, and then I actually work with actual treatment centers from local SEO perspective. Also, some maps rankings, but I deal with maps to be quite honest. So, but mainly organic.
Nice. And your billables are, you mentioned consulting, so I guess that's an hourly thing, and then I guess you have retained clients as well, right?
Yeah, the trick with retainer versus hourly billable is making sure that you guess right. So when you're doing consulting, that's pretty easy. 4 hours, figure out whatever you want for that total month, and then that's what your hourly rate is. And then with the regular actually doing the work, I mean, that's obviously what city are you in? What niche are you in? What's your competition look like? Are they smart? Are they dumb? And then that's your rate. And you figure out your rate from there.
Got it. Nice, man. Okay. And I'm guessing you have your own projects as well. You mentioned SaaS. What is that about?
Yeah, I have it's called rankgear.com. It's a schema builder. I like Schema. I enjoyed using it and optimizing sites with it. It's kind of an easy win kind of thing. And I run a testing group, and part of that, doing that testing, we figured out the general schema, the stuff that you get off of the Google documents, or you get out of Rank Math or Yoast or whatever. That stuff, I mean, is better than nothing, but ultimately is not doing anything for you. So we've learned how to do advanced schema. And in the process of that, we were looking at tools to make it easier, because a lot of people just don't want to, or don't want or can't learn JSON LD and the syntax that goes along with creating an advanced schema in that way. So we made RankGear. It's kind of filled the gap between all those free tools that you can find online and something like Schema app. Schema app is very, very advanced. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that thing, but I mean, if you're not in there every day using Schema app, you have to relearn it every time, right? So RankGear sits right in the middle of that, and you can go in there and create your own templates, all that stuff, and then turn it into a form filler. So if James writes a really cool schema, and rather than teaching you, Jackie, how to do it, here's the template, and you just go over there and you fill out the form, and you've got the schema that James came up with.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right. And is that like a subscription base then? Or is it like a one-time?
Yeah, it's a subscription base.
Okay.
What are you putting in on that? Sorry, Jackie. What are you putting in on that schema, Clint, in terms of the depth of it? Are you going like full on the author, same as, and then like the topic same as, and trying to put as much in there as possible?
It really depends on where you're at, right? So if you're doing you're just creating a page, for example, like Craig Campbell, he teaches make up like 100 articles, see which ones rank, and then optimize those, right? So if you're doing that kind of thing, you can use just about and mentions and add the entities in there. And ultimately what you're doing is just saying, hey, these are the related entities for the topic of this page. You're not keyword stuffing. Google's not going to rank you based off of having those entities in there or ever. You're just saying, this is what this page is about in general. Versus if you're going all out and you want to establish expertise, authority, and trust and all that madness, if you believe in it, then you can use author profiles. So, and then establish, as an example, Jackie is an SEO expert, and he's also cited on Search Engine Journal, and here's his Facebook and Twitter and everything, and make a real person out of that just using schema alone, without, because you think like an algorithm. A real person can go to a website, see Jackie wrote an article, and then start researching it. Google's not going to do that. The bot is not going to do all that stuff. So you need to be able to express that on that page, to say that this page was written by an expert. And it's realistic to see in Schema. This is a web page. It was written by this person, published by this organization, and this is what it's about. And you can use Schema to do that and accomplish it. And you can do it. In particular for easy keywords, you can do it without actually putting any content on the page at all.
And where does that fit in, I guess, your hierarchy of what you're focusing on? For example, you're focusing on maybe optimizing on page, you may be looking at off page, getting links, etc. Does Schema kind of come next on that, or does Schema fit somewhere else?
Well, for me, it's probably the second, right? So I do content optimization, phrase, Neuron Writer, ClearScope, InLinks, Quora. Well, not Quora yet, and then go to Schema after I know where the page is going to rank. That'll put me up to a little bit more. Then do the Quora, because there's a whole bunch of extra crap that Quora tells you to do, and then do the backlinks. So Schema would be, second.
Crazy, man. Schema is like such a unknown for me. It's not something I regularly focus on, dude. I'm out here like slinging AI rated, our AI written affiliate content. That's crazy. I didn't know it's such a needle mover.
I've been talking and presenting Schema at conferences probably for 3-4 years now, and to this day, what you just said is pretty much the norm. And I really don't understand it, frankly, because we've proven over and over you can do it, right? Terry Samuels created an entire website, blank website. Well, not blank, it had an image and video on every page, and he used Schema alone to rank every page on this website. I did it with a blank page. So I had the standard header and the standard footer, and there's no content whatsoever in between, because everyone was like, oh, Terry's was a fluke, right? Or it's got the image and the videos, trying to find excuses for why it's not. So I did it with a blank page, and I ranked the page for just Schema. Number 1, mind you, for the keyword. And it's survived like 5 updates already. So knowing all that, eventually people are going to catch on. The downside is that people are looking already at AI. How do I get AI to write my schema? Well, if you're doing it properly, AI is not yet capable of doing it. And then you have the plugins, which most people, have the AI content, throw it in there and hope the plugin will do all the schema stuff naturally. So, that advanced stuff we do. We don't do it for every page on the website. It's just ridiculous. And the amount of work you put in to write an advanced schema, you don't have to do that. But would you rather spend, an hour to write a good advanced schema, less than that once you get a template, or $1,000 on backlinks? Depends on how valuable your hour is, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tough call. And in your example where you said you ranked with Schema alone, what type of keywords are these? Are they like, they can't be high competition. So I guess they're lower competition. What kind of search volume are we looking at? Like
lower
just for
competition.
Some context.
Terry's example, he tells it all the time. It's affordable web design. That's the keyword. Across his, and then mine, where I did it with no content at all, it's Fountain Hills SEO. It's a city in Arizona, real rich. A lot of the competition is not a lot. Right. So the point of that isn't to say, oh, look, I can go rank for weight loss with just Schema. Let's be real. Right.
Yeah, sure.
But it is to say this is the value, and Google is using that schema to say what your page is about. So in Terry's test, the counter argument, because he had an image and video on there, that Google could potentially put the title tag, the image, and the videos together and go, this is what that page is about. And mine was to show, look, if you tell Google enough in the head using Schema what that page is about, they're not going to read the rest of that page. So that algorithm has got a minimum viable, I don't want to say product, but minimum viable standard to determine what your web page is about. And all the rest of the stuff that you're doing in there might not necessarily be needed if your schema is saying, this is what this page is about.
Okay. I think I get the general gist of it. So it's kind of like something. It's something to tick off on your to-do list, right? When you're working on a certain page, for example.
Right. So you do AI content. Let's play this argument. So you do AI content, and you rewrite it, or you write it, you optimize it, you clean it up, make sure it's perfect, go through Grammarly and all that stuff, and you're like, I got perfect sentences, and this all sounds great, and it's well researched, and anyone come here and understand that target. Google goes to it and goes, this is a bunch of gibberish. And it's looking for what is the primary keyword you're written about. Typically, it's going to find it in the title. And then ultimately, it's looking and doing an analysis and saying, all right, he used this word X 15% of the time. Yes, keyword density does matter, right? So he's using keyword density. All right, so the highest keyword density is SEO. Now, these are the known terms in the knowledge graph associated with SEO, on page, off page, link building, for example. And he's used them enough in his document. We found those instances enough in that document to say that this page is about SEO. So it's got to go through and do all that process and analysis. Or it can just find the schema and find SEO, this page is about, and it mentions on page, off page, link building, all that stuff. And it's answered that question without having to analyze your content. Because it can't read. Google can't read. So you can write as high quality content as you want. It doesn't matter if the algorithm gets high quality.
Yeah. Okay.
And it does that through the text analysis.
Okay. Fair. But I guess the counter argument to that is, let's say you have two sites. If it's exactly the same in terms of, backlinks to the root domain, so on and so forth, quality of the content is the same. One has schema, one doesn't. I guess the site with schema would rank higher, right? If in a perfect world,
assuming it's well written. So if you just throw a Yo schema in there, which those don't have any of the entity association stuff in there. But assuming that if it was your page and my page, and James wrote both of our pages and they're optimized the exact same way and the same 25 backlinks and all that stuff, and I did schema and you didn't, I'd outrank you. Got it.
But okay. Yeah. I could see that. I could probably see that. But I think the front page of Google for like the competitive terms nowadays are saying, like, it's just like a domain authority play nowadays on the mega keywords, right? It's disgusting right now. I frankly find it disgusting. I'm profiting off of how disgusting it is. It's a wild west out there. It's tough to focus on the granular things that Google recommends that you should do, and then turn around and see Outlook India best number one for best CBD oil. It's really hard to show up every day and try to do all the check boxes that Google recommends. I mean, has that ever tempted you to look into that for your clients, for consulting, for your own projects? Go out and test out some of these. Go back to your black hat roots.
Oh yeah, all the time. The only real moral stance to me is if James hires me and he puts his business in my hands, I'm not going to go out and do that kind of stuff to James's website. But be damned if I don't buy 25 other domains to make a PBN for James and do that with all of those. You know what I mean? Or parasite SEO, which you're referring to. Nothing wrong with that. To leverage what Google is doing, not what Twitter SEO's moral police say that you should be doing. How's that sound?
Jackie's already been attacked for that.
I mean, I don't really care about that, but
everybody
let's talk about.
We say we don't care, but even everyone cares about it. It's like you get in, because here's the problem I found, Jackie, is if James is coming to hire us and James has learned from Twitter SEO and all the influencers in SEO and everyone told him how bad Black Hat is and then, Google's going to come and get him and, it might work for a little bit, but eventually you're going to get beat up. us guys that are like in reality and actually doing the work that Google is showing us that we need to be doing have to fight not only Google, but now we got to fight our client in the total misinformation campaign that he's got. White hat versus black hat. The white hats won that war, and those guys are more black hat than we are. I know some people that claim they're the total white hats, and those guys are ripoff artists. I know someone who's charging $250 a month to monitor your map to see if it gets suspended.
Yeah,
He's waiting for an email to say suspended, but he's charging you $250 a month to do that, and he's considered white hat.
Yeah, I mean, I've also seen some of these Twitter SEOs who claim they're white hat, and like some of the work they've done. I've seen the audits they've done for clients. It's pathetic. But the reason why I say I don't care is because I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, me and James talk about this all the time. Like my goal in SEO is to make money, and make money with people. It's not to like follow Google's guidelines, and that's like the ultimate goal for me. It does, nothing else matters. So that's why I'm saying I don't really care about what the Twitter police says. But you saw what happened to Jake's Causal app site, right? What do you think about that?
That's the one where he's
SEO AI heist, you know?
Yeah. I honestly, one, it's dropped now, right? According to all of the tools, it's dropping. But the only reason it's dropping is because all those moral pleas probably went to Google and gave that to Google, and Google's typically in their typical pattern did something about it. Had he not said anything, that website would be just fine. Now I get why he did it. I get why he did it, because he wanted to promote his tool. So there's that. And then two, everyone that was bitching about him never once had a problem with Brian Dean's skyscraper technique, which was to go out, find your competitors, see what content they're ranking for, and create better stuff. And then the only thing different that Jake added was he did it with AI. So now he's evil and horrible. So that's kind of my stance on that. If I was Jake, let's say, and that website was making a lot of money, I'd probably be punching myself for opening my big mouth. But if I'm making more money selling my AI tool now, which I bet you he
is,
he's killing it now with that, right? Then it was totally worth it. I'd burn a site down to increase my monthly revenue for sure.
Yeah, fuck. But I guess I don't think he calculated like losing Causal as a client versus the amount of new AI subscriptions he'll be getting from that tweet. Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think
Google would have ever found it out had those
chance.
SEOs went in there and they reverse engineered his post. He showed enough proof and documentation to allow him to reverse engineer that post and figure out that website. That's the only way Google knew what that website was in the first place. So they probably did target it specifically, is because someone reverse engineered that post, and they went in there and complained and showed Google, here's the one he's talking about, and then Google manual actioned it.
Yeah, I mean, this is I personally feel like this is why we can't have nice things in the SEO space, and this is why people don't show anything. And then the same people are complaining that we're not showing anything as well. It's I don't get it. But anyways, I think I completely agree. Brian Dean with the skyscraper technique, it's just done at scale with AI. What do you think if Jake said we didn't stop at just posting bulk AI content, we got a human writer to go in and fact check, do you think the internet would still lose their mind?
It was because of the way he positioned it. He made a clickbait title. We stole our competitors' traffic. So he gave them the in to say, oh, look how morally horrible you are. And now we're morally justified reverse engineering your thing and turning this into Google and getting it smashed. That's had he not said that, we stole the traffic. And if he repositioned that technique that he was showing as a skyscraper with AI, he would have been totally fine, I think.
Yeah. I agree. It's such a shame, and I think, oh God, I really hate the SEO community sometimes. One of the worst. One of the worst communities, I think. Like so toxic, especially like I feel like you might be the cross between. There's like a huge disconnect between in-house SEOs and affiliates, very much so. And like I think the bridge is like agency SEOs, where they kind of, they're like the middle person for there. But I think there's a huge disconnect between affiliates and in-house SEOs. It's really bad.
It's
Jake brought them
three
all out.
levels, I think. So you got you affiliate guys that are out there playing in the wild, wild west, learning things and trying to adapt. And the reason you have to be able to do that and have the skills to do that is because that is your entirety of your income for the most part, right? So if you're not successful, you ain't making money and you're not feeding your kids. Whereas the agency guys, you're not successful, we're going to lose clients and you're going to lose your job. And then you have these enterprise guys that are out there who are working on, stupid high brand authorities and publishing content, and their article is instantly posted. And they're like, look, I wrote this high quality article. Look how great it is. And I'm the greatest SEO forever. But I mean, you just published that on Fox News. Of course it's going to do a good job. Yeah. Right. So, and the real problem is that there's brand new affiliate guys that are getting their advice from these enterprise guys and thinking that what works in enterprise for Fox News is supposed to work for Jake's House of Pain .com. And it is not going to be that way.
Yeah, no chance. Imagine the head of SEO at Forbes, and then they're trying to give advice on how to rank a local site. Like that shit would never work.
It would never work.
Whatever. Like the content they put out is,
personally the head of SEO for Fox News, and everything we talk about, there's no damn way it worked for local, and he knows it. And it's the same everything that I say for local. There's no damn way it's going to work for Fox News. Yeah. So, but if he was to give out advice and not say that, make that distinction, then you could easily think that, if the director of SEO for Fox News says I need to be doing high quality content, then you're going to go out and do high quality content. Not knowing that it doesn't mean anything because Google can't read.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Google can't read, what are your thoughts on topical authority? I know you got into it with Corey on Facebook, I believe. That was I loved reading that. Thank you so much for that. It was like Christmas came early for me.
It cost me $1,000.
Did it? Why?
He kicked me out of the Facebook group, and he kicked me out of the course and never refunded my money. So he took my money and then kicked me out of removed all access for the course.
Did you charge back? What was that? Oh, okay.
No, at that point I was done with it. I don't want to give that guy any more audience than he already had.
He's doing well for himself. So what do you think of the idea of topical authority, ignoring Corey? Overhyped. Good.
His course, I don't know if you guys, a little bit more of the backstory is 89 videos. 44 of them kind of got into his concept, and then the other 44 just repeated the first 44. So, and then his last video actually, his last video was the laziest one, and that's the one you learned everything. So it's not to say that Corey didn't give out some good information, but you could have consolidated that entire thing into one video, and Matt Diggity would have done it in 5 minutes and got the same.
Okay. Got it. I see where your issues.
Yeah, Diggity did do a topical maps course, and so the way that Corey is teaching it is, if you were an affiliate for a Kindle, you need to do blog posts about every kind of e-reader out there. And then you need to do an article, because you're affiliate for books. Now you got to do an article about every type of genre of book that's out there. And then you need to do work in the authors, right? just so you can promote a Kindle. And his justification is, I'm going to have all of these rankings and I'm going to get all of this traffic, and it's going to be, my website's going to be all about books. But you can do all that work and you can convert probably 0.5% of that traffic to actually build a Kindle, to buy that Kindle. You're not going to convert that traffic into buying a Kindle as an affiliate. So you've wasted all of this time. So if you scale that down a little bit and you have a Kindle site, and then you want to talk about e-readers and compare the e-readers and get your readers to do a Kindle, that's the topical authority that I think Google is looking for. And when I came up, we used to call those sniper sites. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, Google sniper sites. The original concept behind that was you build a 5-10 page website. Your homepage was about the product that you're affiliating, and then your other pages, your supporting pages, were comparing them to the competition. So you rank for the competition's term and then show why your product is better. And that those little sniper sites were making people an ass ton of money. Those came out before the niche site and the authority site. Mm-hmm. And those were doing really good for the longest time, until just popularity swinged over to these authority niche sites for affiliate.
Got it.
Right. So,
all right. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I like the topical authority idea, but I dislike the people teaching that James needs to have this 10,000 page website all about cookies just so he can sell cookie cutters. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I know a couple of people that reached out to me that were actually subject to Corey's case studies, and their conversion rates went down even though their traffic went up, because the traffic.
I mean, of course, because they get like non-buyer intent traffic,
exactly.
Right?
It's like seeking out information people and having no idea how to convert them into anything else.
Got it. Yeah. I think his okay. I think I generally get it. For example, it's similar to, I think he's done like a site that sells bottled water or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you talk about everything under the sun about water, like, is water safe to drink in Flint, Michigan? Like, you rank number 1. That's not going to sell any water, right? That's like your gripe with it, which I completely agree with. But okay, so to play the other side of it would be, if instead of selling water, they are a water review site, then it would actually help with, in terms of like overall generating more revenue from display ads, so on and so forth. You know, I think it would help in that sense. But I can see what you're saying. Like, it's not gonna help a water brand sell more water, right?
If you're doing it for branding. So let's go local. You're a roofing company, and you talk about, you have an article on each of the materials of roofing, and then flashing of roofing, and then the different processes of putting roofing on. Those all make sense. But if I'm doing roofing in 10 different cities, and then I do an article on the population of New York, an article on the demographics of the Asian community in New York, an article about the demographics of the Caucasian community in New York, and then the types of food that the Asian community wants to eat in New York, and just building that all out for every one of the cities, that can just get dumb, right? And that's the way that Corey is teaching. The water site, he used that in part of his course. The other side he uses is visas. So the offer was helping people get visas to travel from one place to another. The supporting content that he's telling in his course to write is all about the country. So I don't know if you ever heard of the CIA fact book. Essentially, he broke down the CIA fact book. Typically, they're 500 to 1,000 pages for every country. And he said that's what you need to write for your website in order to rank for getting the visas, because that's part of topical authority.
That's a lot of content. I think what kind of expands onto topical authority, at least in that sense, in terms of information content, is your internal linking philosophy. And I've taken to your, backlink off-page philosophy around authority and relevance regarding the anchor text and the domain. And I think you carry that on your internal links too, with the anchor text being the relevancy there. But I wanted to ask you on your tests as well and your philosophy on that, because I think Cyrus Shepard semi-recently did a little case study around internal linking, and he found, I think it was a variety of internal links tended to work better up to a certain point, and it wasn't just all exact match for relevance and things like that. Do you want to maybe run through your philosophy there and how potentially it might differ?
Yeah, his one test he did was the multiple anchors on a page linking out to the same page with different anchors, and which one that actually Google counted. And I don't know how long you guys been around, but Rand did a thing. It's called the first instance. Is his claim. So if Jackie links to the same page 3 times using 3 different anchors, Google's only going to count the first one. And there's a lot of people that said he was wrong, meaning Rand, and then there was a lot of people who said he was right. In the testing that we did, the links that you have in your menus don't count. So Jackie links to his page in the menu, homepage menu, or header menu, and then he links to it in the content. Google's going to count the link that's in the content because it knows this is the nav, right? So that, knowing that, you've instantly dispelled Rand's thesis, which was if you had a link in your header, then the link you had in your content doesn't work. Cyrus changed that up, and he figured out that if Jackie links to the same page 3 times, it'll only use the anchor text from that first one to associate with that page. It's going to read the other 2, but it's only for association and ranking. It's only using the anchor text for that first one. And then he found out you can break that up a little bit by putting an image in the second one. So Jackie wants to rank for blue shoes. His first link anchor is blue shoes, and then blue suede shoes, which is also on that page. His image would be a blue suede shoes, and the alt text would be blue suede shoes. Google would count both of those. So in that, it makes a lot of sense with Cyrus's analysis. The other thing, I think you're referring to that study where he was looking at ranking and then looking at internals and saying whether exact match or alter or related searches and all that, right?
I think so.
And I think that that comes probably from the Penguin days when a lot of us were talking about, oh, don't use 100% exact match, keep it down to 2-3%. Don't do that in your internals, internal linking, keep it low. Use related searches or generic click here, read more, that kind of stuff. And I think that is still out there and pretty prominent. Now, I know Diggity teaches don't use exact match in your internal linking very much. I teach the exact opposite. Like, keep using exact match until Google stops giving you credit and then switch over. So theoretically, you could have 75% exact match anchors on your internal links and you'd be just fine. If people were doing it my way, I think Cyrus's data analysis would be significantly different. But I mean, that's more of a popularity thing than what's actually working, right? So
I actually think I'm in your camp. I think internal links, you can go super aggressive in terms of keyword stuffing, that quote unquote. Whereas I guess everyone's seen this. If it's external links, if you go too aggressive, you're gonna get clapped like right away. It's pretty quick, I think, nowadays.
Well, that you don't necessarily have to anymore. The good old days when you can do exact match and just blast the hell out of it, those were awesome. I wish they would come back. But in the internal links, Google, every domain has this is what the credit that you're allowed. So for example, my agency site, digitalear.com, I can do 5 exact match domain or exact match anchors to a page, and I'm going to keep getting boost. Number 6 through whatever, don't do anything. They don't increase the rankings of my pages. It's those 5. Every domain has a number. So once you've figured out what your number is, you can figure out I'm going to do my 5 exact match anchors. And then if you want to do 5 relateds and go that way, or you can just stop writing all that extra supplemental content and move on to the next thing.
How do you figure that out? And if you're going to figure it out, let's start there. How do you actually figure out the number? Or can you increase it? Can your domain handle more over time? As
your domain gets more authority and more backlinks overall, then that number will start going up. Because if you are building, let's say you build 10,000 page website, you're never going to figure that out because you're never going to get as many backlinks to all of those 10,000 pages. If you build it slow, 1 money page, 5 supporting pages, for example, all 6 of those pages start getting backlinks. Now your authority goes up, and you keep doing that over and over again, and you'll be able to get more trust and etc. So it kind of goes along that old school where you want to KGR. Doug Cunningham, if you're following KGR and you're actually ranking pages consistently over and over for those super long tails, you're building trust. You build backlinks to those. Now you're building authority. And then when you start doing your internal linking and stuff and actually trying to go after something hard, generally it's going to be a lot easier for you. You know what's funny? You're the second person recently to mention KGR again. The other one was Carl Roof. And I swear people were like killed off KGR for how many years? Now suddenly this year people talking KGR again. What's going on? It's I don't want to be too insulting, but it's laziness. So the KGR is you're going after things that you would generally, which is sexier, ranking for a search term that has 1,000 visitors or one that has 50. Mm-hmm. And KGR, you're going after those 50s. So if you're an affiliate using AI content, you should be living and dying in KGR. Especially if you're just starting out.
AI enabled, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah. You should be
all day, every day.
Dying in KGR stuff. That should be the easiest stuff for you to rank for. And easiest to build the backlinks needed to rank. You don't need all that many. You can use systems, GSA, Search Neo, SEO, Autopilot, Rank Gear, or not Rank Gear.
Don't you feel like with these low volume keywords that eventually the likes of Forbes, if they're AI enabled, the larger publishers, they'll eventually get down there if everyone moves towards AI? Do you know what I mean? Like they'll eventually get down there. It'll be
Google
part of
lets them. Yeah, if Google lets them. It's kind of like you guys in an affiliate. Now they're out there in your space writing the best drones articles because Google said, "Oh, go ahead, it's fine."
And they are. And I think you're seeing more and more pop up. I feel like the threshold is moving, is edging upwards because they're just cutting out the less authoritative sites nowadays.
Well, they're cutting you out as an affiliate. They don't like you. So they used you to build Google Ads. They use you to build Google Ads to prove that platform, to prove how it works, to optimize everything in the back end, and then to get you to pitch it to small businesses. Once you started pitching it to small businesses, or guys like me that were doing local agencies, once we started pitching it to small businesses, and those guys bought on, and the Fortune 500 saw your success with it, they killed you and kicked you out of the Google Ads program. And it's the same with search now. You guys are going through that again. You figured out how to rank and what is converting articles, best of, top 10 of those type of articles. And now Google is rewarding Forbes and Inc. and CNET and Wired and Fox for writing those articles, and they get to push you out now because they know that those companies are there for ad revenue, which is coming from Google Display predominantly, right? And the Google Premium Ads Partners program. So they let Fox and all those guys rank high for affiliate terms because they know that the user is going to go there and click on one of their ads and then they can monetize. You as an affiliate are only there to sell that product. Fox is there for traffic and ad revenue. So the next stage of that is
I can see your argument. Yeah.
Yeah. The next
Yeah,
stage
for
of
sure.
that is them actually turning on the product review snippet. And basically what they do is James, you and I write an article about the best drones. They scrape all of those, figure out the products that we're listing, and then take our content and create a review snippet. And then
Well, it's already in
Yeah.
SG, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see it
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
They're going
I
down
think it'll
that
be
rabbit
similar to Google Flights, and like the Google
Oh, yeah.
Hotels
Mhm.
search engine is going to be something like that.
Yep.
It'll be bad for affiliates.
For
So I
affiliate.
gotta cash in and cash out as soon as possible.
Yep.
I'm just here for a good time. Here for a good time.
Yeah.
But
Well-
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say with the KGR, Clint, as well. Obviously, okay, you're targeting these all entitled terms, but are you seeing recently, I guess, more things ranking that aren't using the main keyword in that title tag on Google, like things like more first person stuff, or I guess more clickbaity titles ranking instead of the exact match in that title? If that makes sense.
It's hard to make that analysis because Google's using machine learning so much to change the titles. And then also, like in Rehab, they use H1 tags for the title listings inside of the search results. They don't use the title tag. So to connect those two together, it's a little bit harder to do that. I know that they're making it harder for us to write clickbaity titles ourselves and then having them show up.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
So it's, I mean, it would be easy to say, oh yeah, that's what they're doing because the machine learning changed it. But unless you actually go in there and do analysis on a lot of data and pull the real title tags and then compare them to the SERPs and then try to make that association, that's a big data task. So, and I don't have the patience to do that.
Are you optimizing for Google Discover or anything like that?
No, we're still trying to. I'm still trying to crack that in that. Like, what triggers getting you in there? And everyone that I know of that says that they get a lot of Discover traffic, the main things I say is write a clickbaity title and then have the proper image size. I'm like, there's got to be something more than that. You know what I mean? So, I still haven't cracked the whole Google Discover nut.
Well, I'm sure one of us will figure it out one day. I think the algo it's going to be same direction of how like these short form video content is showed. So it's like depends on CTR, time on page, so on and so forth. Yeah, we'll see.
Or
listen,
user habits, right?
Yeah, exactly. User behavior. Yeah. But yeah, I think we gotta be mindful of the time. Clint, thanks for coming on today. Where do you want to send people? Your Twitter, your website?
Oh yeah, you can hang out with me on Twitter and watch me make fun of people. So Clint.a.butler. Skype if you want to reach out to me directly, or you can find me on Twitter.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming on today. It was fun chatting, man.
Yep. Thanks for inviting me.
Cheers, Clint.